gonna do that. Yeah, really? Try again. You try again. They will stop at nothing, man.
All right. You know, chaps, let me tell you something. You know, when we look at a period of 18 span years, 18 consecutive years, and all
Yeah.
of these things, if you don't, me not even go single out anything right now. Just look at the 18 years, and we all understand in Jamaica everything that went down, it to the point where it came over on the media. You hear it with your ears. Say, boy, them spoke about the meltdown of the financial meltdown of the 90s. And me can't, boy, the people them still I say are the best period ever. No, sir. I tell you, there are people that are wicked than the devil, man. Them trained by the devil, so they have to become more professional than the devil. Me feel say I'm more professional than the devil, man. The devil can't beat them when it come to lie, man.
But that is,
Can't beat
I
them when it
agree
come to
with you
lie.
on that, because I can't remember like 18 years and I never pretty at all.
Eh?
But it show up on them, it show up on them supporting, looking, yesterday I was watching, I mean, I disrespect people, but I was watching them thing, well, but it just a pass and see. I was 70. Look at the people when normally support the party. Them not have no teeth, or just, you can't just see them face it life really hard.
I no disrespect, I speak truth. You're speaking facts. I no disrespect.
Politics.
Hey, let me explain something here. And there are some reality in life that you have to face. In America, the Republican states are the poorest states. Did you know that? You go and look at the Republican strong states, the Texas and those states. They are poor states. Poor in terms of development and growth and all of that good stuff. And if you look at Jamaica, the poorest communities are PNP communities, and I'm sorry to say it, not to say that Levi don't have poor communities too.
I've been saying that
But
a
the
long
poorest
time.
constituencies are PNP. I don't say it with no apology because we can support it by evidence.
I've been saying that a long time ago.
It's the culture of their party. It's the culture, it's what they stand for. They don't believe in development. Remember, it is the PNP who tell whose position is that you should not develop the country. You must pay down the debt and all of that good stuff. You must just use the money and give it to them in a handout. And that will be sufficient.
And their policy is to see that the dollar decline as far as possible.
They have done it before. Again, history can't wrong my brethren. History will always be right.
And that sort of mentality, chops.
Yeah.
Friends go all the way down to their followers, their sycophants, because the same VG live yesterday.
Yeah, man, I was on there, And
I saw you, man. I saw you. You have one comrade company come talk about 9 to 5 make you poor. So that make no sense.
Yeah.
So that sort of mentality trickles down all the way to the base.
Big people, those, man. You don't encourage work. You prefer to be in a position where you just...
You get a brown paper envelope, right?
Yeah. What's this? Windix, or Widix, Widix. You can send a request if you want to get in the box. That's how we do it. But yeah, man. Was Philippine live? I saw something, but look like she was live.
She was earlier on.
Okay, I just don't want to be on when other people are on. Because we leave the space, everybody can jump in and do them thing. I prefer to support them some of the time,
Yes, I agree.
No, man, the pass, when I look everybody, because I could go live at the space it up in Philippine was, but
But I want to say to my folks that we must encourage them to. We mustn't kick them out of the box when them come. I think we have to take a different approach to these guys. Have the conversation at a mature level, and have the conversation at a mature level, and prove to the comrades that their way of thinking is warped, and prove it to them because it's not difficult enough.
Japs, back up a little bit. We like how you put it, You see, the thing is, your consciousness is telling you. Our consciousness is telling us that we want to have a man-to-man conversation with them, intelligent conversation with them. But let me tell you this, man. They will never, and they can never, and they does not have the ability to reason at that level. Their care is not that level.
That is
true. Try it over and over again.
Agree.
Sometimes I go as far as to say, let us put politics aside and let us reason as Jamaican.
They can't do it.
They can't do it. So I agree with this friend. It's to have a conversation with a comrade. It's a very taxing endeavor.
Yes, man.
Very taxing endeavor. You listen, you pass their lives daily, and you listen to what they talk about and how they talk.
And that's
and
why.
Mess.
Let me tell you something. HR, let me tell you something. We have a responsibility to tone things down. When I say tone things down, I think it's already agreed that if comrade wants to go in the mud, we can go into the mud.
Exactly.
Comrade want to get dirty, we can get dirty. I think that is already established. Right? We go there with them already and win. And we don't care. If you want to go back 1980, them draw in the mud and we went there. We're not going back there. We're not going back there. Jamaica don't need that. What we need,
I want to put forward, Chuck.
One of the things we need
listen to me. Listen this before you go, my brother. You see, when you ask them a question, let them answer the question. If they anywhere them go, bring it back to them. Anywhere them go. If them deviate 1,000 times, still remind them of the question and let them answer the question.
Thank you. And that is how I'm saying to my folks that don't run them. No, they can be distasteful sometimes, and they can be disrespectful, and no, they can be aggressive.
Sorry for cutting, but the only way me see that can be done is say you have your show now, you get them individually on your show, and then you talk to them and how me know that the PNP, the JLP talk to them individually, one person talk to them. But if you go up and feed them live and it's 7 of them or say 6 of them and it's you alone, you never get a question posed to them. Never.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? If you get them on your show now, yes, I respect them, enough respect. If you get them on your
program.
Every day them do, man. Every day them do.
No man, when they are them all wicked, when they comment
Yes,
and that, man.
Yeah, man.
We're glad to see you say you survive, because that's first night you found that.
No man, me debo, but them that weak me know them.
Yeah, but
matter of fact, you know never ask enough to do. Go on my page and I'm going to just post something about a lion and a tiger. Take a look at that and it's them definitely.
Listen to me, open discussion.
Yeah.
I watch that over and over and over and
yes, sir.
I even have it on WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, look at that. And that convinced me, said these people, no, if I show them the sun, I said that is the sun. They are going to tell you, no, it's not the sun.
The message, Darlan Francis, welcome my brother. And I think it's funny. Welcome as well. One of the things I want give them that extra hot dog. Another 36 in there. About that. In 36 minutes, let's give them that thing. Yeah. But one of the things, Darlan, I'm trying to say to our people is that as a quick I'm trying to encourage that never run away from the discussion, because I think it's already established that wherever they go, we can go. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Anywhere you go, we can go there.
But Chopper, how are you going to do that? Are you going
Well,
to be?
because what we have to
Explain to
do,
me.
because
Yes,
every
sir.
time that they come onto our platform, I think a lot of persons get a little bit agitated and start to run them off and block them and all that stuff. And I said no, because the truth is, it makes more sense for us to have the discussion and say to them, look, your position as it relates to Jamaica growth and development or the governance of Jamaica is wrong. So let us talk about it now. Let us talk about your thinking versus my thinking. How do we understand now that what the PNP policy is wrong? How do we come to that conclusion? We have to have the discussion. And because we have allowed them to debate by themselves, after you cut them loose, then they start to believe their own concoction. They start to believe that some of the things that they must say to themselves is right, and it's truthful, when it's really not. So I'm just saying, on two levels. One, on the issue of information, we have to tone it down. And on the issue of violence. Because bear in mind, 1976, comrade beat them right now. When we say beat them, I mean beat them up now. Like fight, shoot them, beat them with pickaxe, stick, everything. Comrade used to have, labor used to have to hide. Right, Ben? Labor used to have to hide them. Check out themselves now. And his retaliation, labor started to retaliate why 1980 was so bloody. Why we had 864 murders. Exactly. So we not encourage it. So we don't need to go back there. So my suggestion is that we have to de-escalate certain things, especially on social media, because I hope a man with a keyboard bad man, They make noise on the internet, but when you bought them in the city, them a different conversation. So nobody even want to go there. So we need to start doing what we do best, which is beat them with facts. When they talk about growth and development, we say, all right, bring the facts, bring the evidence. And if you ask them to provide the evidence, we guarantee you, they can't. They always tell you, to discuss Jamaica's issues very simply, Jamaica gained independence 62 with 2024. Ask any comrade to point you into one period where PNP governed, for Jamaica grow and develop. That's one. And they will never find it because there's no evidence to suggest that they did that. And then the time they can prove to you, say, any of the period where them govern Jamaica, it grow. If they can point to one single period from 62 to 2024 that they rule and the country grow, they leak everything out of my bank account and leave it. Everything. Not even a penny left. If one comrade Darlan can point to a single period from 1962 until 2024 that comrade ruled Jamaica and they had growth and development, they can take everything they want on this planet Earth. Because it's not possible, because it's not true. Am I wrong, Mr. Francis?
You see what one of the problems, greetings everybody, happy
Yes, greetings.
Heroes Day. And all of the heroes, the warriors of the Labour Party, the unsung heroes of the Labour Party. Greetings. Dapper, you see, the problem, I don't want to say with your argument, but the problem in general is that the PNP is a very dishonest bunch. They are unorthodox with what they do. They are fighting an irregular war. With PNP, facts don't matter. Facts don't matter with them. And it is very difficult to win an argument. I made it my duty to go onto their platform.
Yes.
And me take them abuse because me want to get in even one sideways punch.
Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that.
And they're not allowing it.
No. No. They shut it down.
As soon as me step on them platform, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, say, and you start arguing. If you're asking them questions,
They not answer you, man. They run away.
they're not answering. They're not standing up to it. They know that
Because they can't.
what they are doing is dishonest. They are dishonest and they know it.
Look here, it's the easiest argument. That's what I said to myself. I don't know why Labour even get into any big fuss with PNP. It is the easiest argument to win. Just say, okay, make we settle it. Here's an independent person who is undecided and want to make a decision who to vote for. The only way and the best way to convince this individual is to prove to them your track record. Because you rule Jamaica, GLP rule Jamaica, PNP rule. Show me your performance. Show me your resume of performance. I want to be sure. You know what I heard yesterday on one of the PNP platform? A gentleman, he was a pastor, whatever his name is. And he was listing PNP achievement. And I stood there and every single initiative for the man, what the man outlined, the man said 3 mile flyover. It's a PNP do it. It's a Constant Spring Road, a PNP do it. All of these things.
So explain this to me now, Chopper. So when you're there now and hear these lies now, and you try your best now to get a lick in, and what they do now is attack you, how you deal with it?
All right, so here's the deal. I didn't go on the platform because I'm in a shared platform with. I don't go on Batman platform. Let me just say it straight. I mean, there's no way for
Right.
you don't know way to make that nice. This is just what it is. You know, share.
Right.
That's what I say. So if you don't say you swim around, you're going to stay over there, so me stay over there. So. Then you're not going to have no lot of part. So, establish that. So, probably one of the reasons I'm not going to pass them because I'm sit from fishy people by the time. Me not really take too kindly. However, I am saying to myself, there's a few comrades who you can have a conversation with. Not a whole lot. There's a few of them who will debate you, they will argue a point, and they will argue with you in a particular way when they are on your turf, darling. And they will
Exactly. I said that. Yes, I said that.
But when they go over into their territory, it's going to be a different tone again. Because I'm going to tell people some why, you know, some of we have boast about and them do it. I heard the man say, the flyover 3 mile, and I list them, I go down, what at a project? And I remember say, PNP used Danai Williams to do Boulevard about 20 times.
Yes, sir.
More than 20 times. Between them just overlay the road this month and another 2 years and a half again. And right now it's still not settled. But because I tell you, they claim these things as great achievement. Water system will run, go to 6 miles and run the hummus million water pipe and never connect one of them. Labour had come now and to connect them. Any PNP you want to be, tell them.
I tell you how that one going on. The Labour then come and show the PNP, them plan, you know. Because the plan is that they would have given up that contract 3 times. That pipe, you see like the McGregor Gully thing when them have trucks are carrying stone, and you have another truck are carrying.
There's something about the McGregor Gully there where a lot of Jamaicans don't know. When Ted Ogilvie was killed, and there was this plan when Ted Ogilvie found out that they were paying for a certain amount of truckload of stuff, but it was only one truck. I carried the same load over and over. Oh, that talk to me about that McGregor got this up there, man.
Yeah, man, one truck drop a load take it off.
Yeah, break up, darling.
You break up,
Bring
darling.
back to the first just same load of stone. You not hearing?
Yeah, go now. You're good now.
Yeah, the same load of stone was recycled many times over. And that was one of the reasons why $1 million a week were being spent out. That was about $1 million a week was being spent out on that
$1 million
gully.
per week
And the gully was not going nowhere.
on the project that was being spent, but probably 50,000 hours of work was done. I think PNP play.
You eventually get the one who last one.
How we talk about? I don't think PNP play.
You know, if him get that and then him my career him go get it on everybody saying tell me to go to bleedings. And the man there, the supervisor, he did mad with it, and them can't come, you know, stand for that. So they went out and take out Taylor Gilby. And the funny thing, Taylor Gilby was not comrade now, permanent secretary, but he was a comrade. Me used to teach him son. So yeah, but they didn't care. They went and killed the decent because the man had stopped their food. Some yeah, the same thing they did with that program. 30,000 checks were supposed to be paid out. Every week 77 checks, you know. Right?
And the crash program was in the way.
You know, just coming,
1977,
going through
1974.
Mid-70s, man. Who are the mid-70s?
74 was crash program, right?
Yeah.
Start 70, one of the first programs started, came to office March 72.
Wasn't it one of the programs that was announced? Wasn't that one of the programs that PNP announced in 73?
Yeah, man, around 73, 74, them announced that, man.
But no, Crash program started 72. And in 73, they made some of that grand announcement, like the free school to university, free education to university, and so on. You know. But the point, though, is that the crash program, the relief employment program, which was not a bad concept at face when you look at it. The fact is, they wanted to grant relief to 20,000 people. And they were cutting 77,000 checks every week. 77,000 checks because man like fed them up if I get maybe a dozen checks or more. You know,
what was the estimated value for each check?
I think you check them was $30 a week.
How it used to pay? 2 weeks or weekly? Fortnight or weekly?
Weekly, man.
Weekly. Fortnight came way after weekly. Fortnight really couldn't mash up the country. We couldn't.
And there's a lot of people from between Monday and Thursday you don't see him. It's on Friday you see him.
Darlan.
No, man. These guys, most of them lean on the broom because the most thing the crash program people did was to sweep the street.
Leaning on the broom.
They were sweeping the street.
But reality is there's just a few people do the sweeping and then
most of them.
yeah.
Darlan.
Yeah, of course.
There was a period.
You think the 77,000 checks or 77,000 people? No, man.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
No, man.
There's a period. Open discussion.
Yeah, some man will get all 30 checks, man.
There was a period, Darlan, between 1976 and 1972. I think it was in 1974 that Grace Kennedy had to pay public sector wages because the government was broke. Which year was that?
Not sure.
I don't remember. I don't remember that one.
Grace Kennedy had to front the bill.
I don't remember that one. But I would believe it would have been closer to
pay public sector workers. It is in the Green Archive.
I would believe it would have been after the 76 state emergency.
I would want to think so.
Yeah, and that really got ugly, man.
Good pay.
Because they went to the IMF 77, and the
I think it was
agreement start by
1978.
they started negotiation right after the one, and the agreement came into force. I think it was 77, 78, and that is when all hell broke loose.
Did you know that when Michael left the government in
Wait a minute,
79?
somebody's trying to ask a question.
Go ahead,
Chopper.
go ahead.
Alan, I want you put into
Yeah?
I want you put into context. You see, what would have caused this financial backward situation, devastation of the both reigns of the PNP of the 70s and of the 90s? What would have caused it to happen like that?
Bad policy.
That they make the Jamaica Bank broke at consecutive times.
Bad policy.
What them really do, what them take the money do. Because we didn't ask Mr. Perkins that no. Me want to know, me want you put it in context because
right.
I think PNP
It's
listeners
a good question.
followers,
It's a good question.
they need to understand what would have caused it. I mean, listen, before you answer me, brother, you collecting revenue from various taxation, from remittance, from backside levy, from you name where money is coming from. Right? Inclusive of borrowing from the IMF. So what happened? What happened? Why this massive decline and rapid decline of the Jamaican dollar, brother?
Bad policy.
And unemployment,
okay.
And everything just go bad. Put it in
All right,
context.
let me explain that. Let me explain that for you. I have a good question, and we need to have arguments like this. They bankrupt the country in the 70s. They bankrupt it in the 90s. Reasonable people might want to think that these guys would have learned their lesson. And if they were to be given the country in the mid-20s, they probably would not make the same mistake again. I will put it to you that the PNP will make the same mistake in 2020. They will make the same mistake in 2030. And anytime they get the country again, they're gonna screw it up. They screwed it up in the 70s, right? They screwed it up in the 70s. Democratic socialists, right? Are you hearing me any better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I might be losing connectivity.
Yes, go ahead, I can hear you.
Dorland,
The mic is not you.
Chopper,
It might be weak.
evening, guys. Evening, what I say?
Evening Pet P, how you do?
Darlan.
Chopper, we just go over, we
Yeah?
just a scroll, I go back up and call her F die over one pack. So me tell her, say, people don't give a call, they just have that live. We go over there, go tell her, say, Chopper call them.
That's a little easy, you know.
Darlan.
But you see, the boy Jamaica are way born here. I don't want to call him boy, but I don't like disrespect people. But he might chat some foolishness that we don't understand now.
Good, he said, don't Monday still a keep. Anyway, I'm gonna come out of the box and give somebody else the box.
Goody, Otada.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me get back to what daddy.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
go. All right, somebody
Go ahead,
get the
Darlan.
box.
Thank you, Peter. Go ahead, Darlan. Yeah, break up, though. You have to come back to a spot before you break up.
The country in the 1970s. They screwed up the country in the 1970s. They screwed it up in the 1990s. They get it in 2020. They're going to screw it up. They get it in 2030. They got screwed up. And they always screw up Jamaica. I like them.
That's the question.
Yeah. And like I've said, and I'll repeat it again, they screwed it up in the 70s,
They screw it up in the 90s. If they get it in the 20s, mid-20s, them going to screw it up. If they get it in the 30s, them going to screw it up. And they will always screw it up. Because until you can come and say what I've been doing is wrong and I'm going to change course, you're not going to get a different outcome. If you keep doing the same thing all the time, you're going to get the same result every time. And like I was explaining in the 70s, they declared that they were socialists. And not only that, they were anti-capitalists. They fought against people. I witness in a Ken cut when some of DK Duncan minions them catch a man in a driver Benz and turn that over and light it. I witness it. You understand me? And that was the attitude. The businessmen were seen as enemies of the state. And Michael himself, everybody remember that. Said, you have 5 flights a day to Miami. Take one of them. Jamaica no have the room for no millionaire. If you want to turn millionaire, Jamaica is not for you. You don't have anybody producing. You don't have anybody venturing. Then you're going to have an economy that can't thrive, can't prosper. Because the people, the hungry people on the street, who are looking for a job and things, they're not going to get job by themselves. They need a man who have a little capital and an idea and who is willing to come venture. Now, when you have a government that discourages that, you get the outcome that you get in the 70s. And in the 70s, I want people to understand that we nearly starve in Jamaica. We nearly starve. There were times when there was nothing on the shelves. Nothing. And in the 90s now. So what we are misguided and then the anti-capitalist idea. And they kill the entrepreneurial spirit. And there was nobody investing in the country. And the country was not able to grow. It's 7 years of negative growth Jamaica had under Michael Manley. 7 years of negative growth, accumulative 25% negative growth. So in other words, Michael took us from where Shearer left us in 72 and took us 20% back, 25% back, right? And they did that.
18% growth, Darlan. 18% growth in 72, and by 1979 we were negative 3%, and that followed through to 80, 81, where we had up to negative 5%.
Well, no, you're probably referring to annual growth.
Annual growth.
Negative 3 is an annual growth. Negative 5 is another year. In 1979, I think it was, or 1980. The negative growth was minus 5.6%. Yes. So what I'm telling you, the cumulative of all those years of negative growth, 7 years of negative growth, was 25% cumulative negative growth, right?
Yes.
And that happened.
Yes, let me come back again, Darla.
They're anti-business.
May I come back in this again?
Go ahead.
Good. You notice, you see, when the same thing happen with crime.
But that is trade. That is trade.
Yes.
That is trade.
The point is, when you inherit a sick economy,
yes,
a collapsed economy,
yes,
people, you see Cuba blacking out now. Cuba blacking out now. We experienced that the 31st of December 1980.
Yep.
As soon as Eddie Siaga walked in, there was a total power shutdown in the country in 1980, December 31st, because I remember it was New Year's Eve. I remember it like yesterday. It's only only the Magadi plant which operate with which is a hydro plant, use water to run. Yes. Only Magadi was up.
But that is Trent and others. Remember now, a two-time,
For about 6 months.
two,
Would have been about 6 months.
Darlan, you're breaking
two-time,
up, man. You're breaking up, Darlan.
yeah, break up.
Make Darlan pass your way. Let me hear what you say, Carl.
Yeah. There are two-time where the PNP grew this country, and it's 1972 and 1990, 91. So
PNP should grow. Carl,
no,
how
no
PNP
grow,
should grow economy
no grow. The
72?
spin over, the spin
No,
over.
it's not a matter of
Yeah,
spin over.
we
What
come
I'm
into
saying
the
to you,
90s, man.
they did not grow any economy in the 1970s.
We
They
come into
received
the 90s. Let me finish up this. What that is, whatever was suggesting, is that the PNP want to give the impression like in the 1980s was
how much money we had. How much money we had in the NIR 1980 when Eddie Siaga took office? Anybody know?
Nil.
0.6. I think it was 6 million deficit. I think it was 600 million deficit.
No, but Chopper and others. When we talk about
million.
yeah, that is Trent and others. When we talk about growth, remember the latter part of Mr. Siago tenure in the 80s, the economy that grew by about 5 to 6%. And I am saying to us, and I stand to be corrected, so you can correct me to Chopper, right? About between 5 to 6%. When Mr. Siago left office, the economy, even after Gilbert, it was growing. Them our spin-off growth.
7.4%, I believe, we grow.
Eh?
I think it was 7.6%.
Exactly.
In
So the
1979,
PNP, our spin-off, and that good follow them up to 1991. That's all I was saying.
No, yes.
But if you listen to what I was saying, in that regard, it would be them. It wouldn't be that the PNP grow the economy, It was just a spillover.
No, we know that.
Of the farmer administration. Understand me?
Darlan is breaking up big time, man. We can hardly hear you.
Yeah, Darla, the connection is bad, man.
Yeah, man. You have to stable because we really want to hear what you're saying. You're making a point.
Yeah, we really want you ever say.
Very important. Yeah, unstable. But you're good now. Here.
On your stop.
Yeah, it's unstable. It's unstable. It's unstable. Yeah, but the truth is, guys, you see, I want you get in a Wi-Fi zone and come back, man, because this is an interesting discussion. And I think a lot of labor rights and non-labor rights would love to hear this because this clarifies a lot of things. And that is strength is a very important question you pose, and it's a question that requires some serious, uninterrupted ventilation, because it is something that I have been noticing and preaching for quite some time. And I've been saying to people that the PNP cannot change. Why? Darlan mentioned it a while ago. He said that if you give them the country again, it doesn't matter what period, they are still going to mess it up. The saving grace we had between 2011 and 2016 was because the JLP administration led by Bruce Golding had gone to the parliament and made into law the fiscal rules to govern the economy was crafted into law. It was laid on the House of Representatives and became law that the PNP couldn't do what they did in the 90s or in the 70s. So they had to be following a very narrow, a very straight line during that period. But here's a risk you run. Because it's not like the PNP never had to follow a straight line in the 70s, or in the 90s, But remember this, guys. The people doing whatever they think is necessary in state power. The contractor general was brought to court by the PNP. The contractor general was pushed aside and the PNP put a group together to oversee the MyDip program. They didn't want the contractor general to oversee it. They want their people so they could circumvent it. They said tata to the IMF because they didn't want to be managed. They want to go to the free market, borrow money at high interest rate, and do whatever they want to do with it. So even during the period of 2011 to 2017, if they had won election in 2016, Jamaica would be backward again because the mistake that the PNP make all the time is a policy mistake. They always implement incentives and initiatives that is counterproductive to any country. So it doesn't matter what year they get the country for run. Anytime them have the coffers, they are going to go down the wicket in a particular way that is going to be detrimental to growth and development. They have no clue how to grow an economy. The PNP rely solely on taxation for revenue generation. Hello? The PNP rely solely on taxation for revenue generation. Nothing else.
All right.
You hear it coming out now while they're in opposition. You hear them say it. You hear Damon Crawford's strength just a couple weeks ago. Made mention of what they would do with education. Remember now, it can't change much about education.
But that is a lie, But that was a deliberate, that was a crafty lie, Because why mention the GCT? Why you mention the GCT in relation to collecting taxes for educational purposes? Why you mention GCT? Why not use another tax?
No, because it's not a lie. What I'm saying to you, Strength, is that they have no concept of growing the economy to increase productivity so that you can get more taxes. They don't believe in that method. They believe that the only method to increase revenue is to direct taxation and increase taxation.
Exactly.
So either they increase, it is either they're going to increase the existing taxes,
new taxes. Good.
just only two methods they have now.
Yes.
So they can't tell you to do what Nigel did, for example, in the 2019, between 2018 and 2023, we had the highest amount of new businesses that opened. And those new businesses, they pay taxes. Those new businesses employ people. Those new employees pay taxes.
Exactly.
They don't have that concept. And you have to go back to the PNP origin, my brethren. In the 70s when PNP came in, you remember what PNP came in with? You remember what Michael Manley said? If you have 2 cars and 2 houses, you better give one. And who not agree, 5 flights a day to Miami, choose one. The PNP has not diverted from that. It is still in their DNA. Go ahead, my brethren. Go ahead, Trent.
Yes.
Can I chaps. The contemplation either. That bowl them to 6,
Look here. No, what they will tell you. Let me tell you what they will tell you.
Man.
No, but what they will tell you about the securitization, they will say to you that the forward sale of backside was the same thing. They will tell you that. They will tell you that in a heartbeat. They will say to you right now that that is not new. We've done it before. Forward sailor backside. Yeah, they'll tell you that.
I remember I left Jamaica 1977. The time people were leaving Jamaica in droves. And because people were leaving with their capital, Manley came in with a policy where you couldn't leave Jamaica with more than $75, 75
Yeah.
Jamaican dollars.
76, yes, 75 hours, yes.
Yes. So me and my sister left the same time, and we each had $75 each.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things though, chaps, sometimes we explain things in terms that a lot of people don't understand or they refuse to understand. Like when we talk about GDP growth, we got to explain it that what it means is that the economy, more things, the economy is more active, which means more people are working, and the more people are working, the more taxes come in.
In other words, there's a better understanding of goods and increase of goods and services then. Because
Right.
the services is going to increase, the goods are also going to be increased.
Yes, there are more economic activities, more people
Yes.
buying and selling, more people working.
Yes.
That's what it means when you have an economic growth. So some people, when they just throw the number to them GDP, they don't know what I mean. You know what I mean? But in a real life, what it means, you have more things going on, more
More
people are
activities, more economic
That's why
activity.
we have to have the ability to put it into context.
right.
So that somebody can understand exactly what you are saying. Because if you when you relate these matters with in a conversation with any PNP whatever, and you know, say when me say PNP, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, me I talk from the highest level of hierarchy. Because let me tell you something, not even those that are in parliament don't understand economics, you know.
Yeah.
Because Damian Craft would understand what economics was. He wouldn't have come back to say he's going to increase the GCT in order to fund education.
Yeah, but education is not underfunded. That's the first thing.
Exactly.
And he must also recognize that education gets the lion's share of the budget every year. So to make it seem as if this government is underfunding or defunding in any way, shape, or form education is disingenuous, because when he was pressed and was asked what is it that he would change in terms of education, the stuff that Damon brought to the fold was really, very, very trivial. He talked about boarding school, using boarding school to stem the attendance going to solve that problem. But what Damon failed to recognize is that if you go to a Black River High School and decide that you're going to convert or you're going to add a section for boarders,
dormitory.
you must recognize that that is going to be a hefty sum. So he needs to tell us. Well, he did tell us that he would generate that money from the increase by 1.5% in GCT, and he would put that towards building out stuff like additional dormitories, and he made mention of something else. But he has some concept in his mind that he would have probably read or think about. It is good in your mind, but practically, it just doesn't work.